My name is David Berrier. You guys all know Ann. How many of you kind of feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose right now? Okay, I know exactly. You know, this is my umpteenth year to be here, and I volunteer to come back every year to help a little bit, and I learn stuff every year. So, and the good thing about it is just about the time you think you got it all down, they're going to change it on you, okay? My calendar, there it is. I just wish, I'm from Houston, and I wish the two mosquitoes would have stayed right there with those dinosaurs, okay? There's a lot to do with a calendar, and I can tell you this, there's some things that all of us will do in certain months, and there's many things that you will do in one month and maybe your neighboring district will do in a different month. Ann and I taught about, there's probably one school district in between us, and it's just a little stretch of that district, and our schools were very similar, but our jobs were very different. And that's the one thing about CTE. I talked to Dustin, tell him your job description. You told me yesterday.
Director of Curriculum, Instruction, Special Programs, and the
And he added about 10 more yesterday. I think he's being... There you go. Just, you know, in his spare time. But anyway, we've got some things up here that we think that probably could sort of help you a little bit. And we didn't get to the summer, but the summer is that time where you think, oh, I don't have anything to do, and you're going to be busier than you are during the regular school year. There's just a lot of things going on year-round. Everybody's going to be a little different, and we're going to work through these, and we can, if are these on the, they will be posted, so I see some of you taking notes, and you feel free to do that. But a lot of the things that you'll see up here are pretty well going to be something that you should at least include in your calendar and have a pretty good idea of what you, that will help you get through your school year. Okay, July, non-discrimination. Nobody but us has to do that I'm aware of. So CTE folks, make sure you do that. Yeah, there's a prepared template on the TEA website. The one thing I will tell you is that I still put mine in the newspaper. Some people say, no, you can just put it on your website. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to hear the three letters OCR, and that's Office of Civil Rights, come to Deer Park. I want to keep them in their office, wherever that might be. But I put mine in two newspapers. It goes in the Pasadena Citizen, the Deer Park Progress. That's our two local newspapers. It's in English and in Spanish. And I have probably the last 7 or 8 years the actual newspaper itself in a file just in case somebody ever wants to see it. Do that before the first day of school.
I have a question. If you're in a community that has only one paper in the vicinity, can you combine with the other districts in your area and put one non-discrimination suit that says this district, this district, this district, and this district all have?
Each district has to have a contact name in the template. It asks for each district to have a contact name.
You have your 504 coordinator and your special ed coordinator.
Put it together and with all the contact information for each of the districts. Is that a possibility? Because we each spent probably $1,400 for English and Spanish to put it in our paper.
Your paper's high. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. That's money that should be going to kids.
Right.
And we're all doing it. I understand how you do it, but it seems like come on.
That is a very good question. I've never thought about that. We're kind of do our own thing because we're a big enough district and we cover those two areas. But I guess if you did ever put everything in there that was required, but I'll let the expert answer that. Certainly, if you're hiring new teachers in July, I can tell you this: you're behind the curve. You need to be doing. Our district offers $1,000 incentive if our employees that are leaving under their own plan not if they've been asked to leave. But they offer a $1,000 incentive if they'll let them know by the 1st of March. And if we have an opening, we get after it in March. And the worst thing, something you never want to say is, all my teachers are hired. Because as soon as you say that, somebody's going to send you a little email, and it won't be a good thing. Perkins Grant, certainly that's a summertime thing. They made a very good point today, and I'm just going to tell you what I do. And Rebecca Patterson, the lady that spoke to that, she gave me some really good advice. She said, after about my 5th phone call one day, I think she said, David, don't buy anything that rolls. No trucks, no ag trucks, no trailers, no Suburbans. Don't buy anything consumable, and don't buy furniture. And if you stop and think about it, these funds are designed for CTE. So what would be wrong with furniture? Do you nail it down? No, it could be in the English class next year. So the TEA folks, along with all that TEA staff, they're very good. The PER and submitted. How many of you have done Perkins and a PER? Ann?
PER is a program evaluation review, and it's a piece that's required for everyone who applies for Perkins, and the evaluation is due at the end of the fiscal year. Just for those of you who might not be familiar with the acronym.
So these are some things that you can do during your summer months. I'm going to kind of scroll through these because we're going to give you guys some time to talk. I know that seems to be a popular thing, and networking is important. If you look at all of the different things that you can do in September and October, again, you're going to add a lot to your own calendar. You notice how when the ball was going around, sometimes things were sort of up in the air, and we asked one question on Perkins and one on the calendar. That's kind of the way your phone's going to be. You're going to get a phone call here about this and a different phone call, and then all of a sudden somebody says, hey, there's a pig out at the ag barn you need to go get, So that's sort of your role as a CTE administrator. Some of the important things that are listed, well, they're all important, but some of the things that are listed here, training plans, the new teachers, make sure that they've got conference applications. We try to send our new teachers their second year to the new CTE teacher. I think the first year they're just overwhelmed. So we've got a couple that I hope we can sneak in next year. Over in October, it talks about advisory committee, and that's a very important part of your program, as you well know. And if you haven't started your meeting or sort of planned a meeting for the fall, that would be a good thing to be thinking about doing.
David, on the October, for folks who are new to CTE, be aware that you're responsible as the administrator for your program for the coherent sequence coding. You need to have a plan to go back to your district and determine who is doing that coding and how are they doing it, and is it consistent with the definitions that were covered this morning. Just be sure that that's up, because that information is taken at fall snapshot. So when you're looking at September and October, be sure that you have a plan for that coherent sequence data.
When's the fall snapshot? Last Friday in October. Good deal. And I kind of skipped over career prep and paid practicum training plans. Those are due how long into the school year? 15 days. And I hear there's a really good online course for that. I've heard. Okay. Talking about November, that's kind of we're sort of getting into the holidays, and that's always a good time of year to kind of get ready for CTE week or CTE month in February. Get your department expenditures up to date, and I know that we're going to talk a little bit about budgeting. Recruitment in December, and compare the FTE reports. And then when you start in January, there's you kind of start the whole year over. One thing I would strongly recommend, and I'll throw this in, I know Robin's going to be here, but we have a very good professional organization called CTAT, C-T-A-T. even though our name changed to Career and Technical Education, CTAT is Career and Technology Association of Texas. We chose not to change the name. But she'll be here, I believe, tomorrow, Carol, is that right? So I'll let her visit about that. But we certainly want to invite you to those activities for CTAT. The February is CTE Month. You can be, we do our career and interest aptitudes in the fall. I know, like I said, this is just a guideline because people do things differently. March, it's kind of hard to believe, but you kind of need to start ramping up for the next year. It'll be here before you know it. April, just a lot of stuff there. Summer conferences. If you haven't spent your Perkins money by April, I would strongly suggest you get after it. We got into a deal with the tech lab. We redid a tech lab this year, and it was one of those deals. Construction was late. Everything was running late. It's supposed to be done spring break. Well, spring break came, and it wasn't finished, so we had to push that back further than I really wanted to. And we got it done this year. It was actually used, last year. And it was actually used. Students were in there, actually did some work, but it was a lot closer to that deadline than I wanted it to be. Because I feel like if there's a guideline, I'm definitely going to try to stay within that guideline. And then there's May. One thing I think is important, know how many students have attained certifications and licensures. And one thing that was mentioned in a program yesterday that y'all weren't in order to build your program, you've got to brag on your program. And I know ag people are really good about that, but every program needs to be good about that. You guys do some fantastic things with kids out there, and if you have a local newspaper or a blog on your district website, you can put that on, because nobody's going to sell your program for you. I can promise you that. Take those kids that win, take them to the school board meetings. We had a local livestock show, and all of our winners are going to be at the school board meeting in 2 weeks.
David, one thing Rebecca mentioned in the slide as she was walking out, Perkins money, the Perkins folks do expect those monies to be expended during the school year that they're generated. So David's comment about finishing up in April on your expenditures for that is really important.
Yeah, April's late. Yeah, mine's pretty well spent for this year. Or a big part of it is anyway. June, again, the final CTE report, prepare for the Perkins grant, and then just some ongoing things over there. But what we'd like for y'all to do, and I don't know what time we have, but okay, so we want you to work at your table to discuss your calendar and maybe how it's different from someone else at your table, and we'll be around to help or visit, and if you have any questions, we'll be happy to work with you on that. Okay. Thank y'all.